This is the Bentley Bentayga, and it's one of the most talked about and controversial cars of this year. It's Bentley's and the world's first entry into the ultra-luxury SUV market. But can it set the benchmark for other luxury manufacturers to follow? We've invited What Car readers along to deliver their verdicts.
What I was surprised at is I'd seen a few pictures in the press and I'd thought, okay, it's a boxy type 4x4. And I'd read some articles, even this morning, where they actually use the word ugly. How on earth would anybody describe it as ugly? You know, it's clearly a Bentley. I was extremely impressed at every little sort of part of the car. When you sat in it, you look around and you think, goodness me, what have they done there? It's like having the sort of typical like iPad tablets in front of you with a Bentley logo on, and there's so many different things that you can sort of option in. Just everything about it is cute. You'd be hard pushed to say you weren't impressed. No matter how much luxury you're used to in life, it's got everything you want. My only proviso, it has to be a hybrid. So unfortunately, I will have to wait a few years. I once did have a Vogue, and although that was a very pleasant car, I have to say, you know, at the time when I had it, it seemed luxurious. But when I got in this, in the Bentayga, I thought, no, actually, to be fair, it was pretty bland. So, although I would say Range Rover a great car, then the most expensive one you could buy probably wouldn't even come close. But then again, the price, you know, is reflected like that. The only thing I'm a bit dubious about is the name. But it was explained to me why the name, or where the name came from. The peak in the Grand Canaries or something.
I've been interested in the car since the first concept came out, what, 3 years ago. You know, big, fast, four-wheel drive, just tick all the boxes for me. I was invited to What Car's preview of the new Range Rover a few years back, and that tempted me into a Range Rover back then, so I thought, I'll get in touch with What Car and have a look at this new Bentley, which is fantastic, pretty fantastic. I mean, Range Rover is very good, brilliant at what they do, but Bentley is a proper luxury brand, and I think that sort of slingshot it into the market. I like it because it combines, it looks like a Bentley and it looks like a four-wheel drive, and that's a tricky mix because if you're putting down £160,000, you want to feel you bought something that's nice to look at. And I think a nice dark colour, this will do the business. You have to look at the interior. The interior is just gorgeous, just fantastic. It's a major step up from even the best Range Rovers and the best of the other top-end four-wheel drive competition. It's just fantastic. It's got the quilted leather and the chrome. It's just so Bentley and just so inviting. Compared to other four-wheel drives, it's more spacious, much more spacious than Porsche. And I think you probably want the 5 seats rather than the 4 seats because it's easier to justify plonking down this sort of money for a vehicle that you can use in a multi-purpose way. You can use it as a business saloon, you can use it as a family estate car, you can tow 3.5 tons with it if you want to. It's just an easier proposition to justify.
I think it's absolutely stunning. I've seen photographs of it before, and the photographs I don't think do it anywhere near justice. It's a beautifully designed. I do think it's very comfortable. I am a very large chap. I don't think it's quite as spacious as I imagined it would be, but I think it feels more like a driver's vehicle. I think if there were too much space inside, I think sometimes it would feel very cavernous. But the quality of the materials, the standard of the finish, the stitching, you know, you can find no fault with it anywhere. Because I also think it's so well made that if this was the only car in the household, you could use it as the only car in the household. I don't think the 4x4 capability is going to be used any more often than the average Range Rover owner will use the 4x4 capability. I think it's as much about the fact that it's there and you know that it is there. Pretty much the same as the top speed. I don't think too many of the owners will ever see the top speed of the vehicle either. But it's the fact that you can work so far within the limits of the vehicle. I heard a rumour there's a very nice Breitling clock, which costs nearly as much as the car. For normal people, it's the price of a house. But this, you know, is not necessarily the most expensive purchase that that the buyer of this car is going to make, and you could probably quite easily spec it up, you know, to $250,000 or beyond. And you know, the expectation would be that this car would be designed with their own personal needs in mind. Everybody now has an expectation that they can change the colour of their interiors, that they can mix and match things. And I think if you're certainly looking at the marketplace that this car is designed for, everything that the buyer for this car has got has been made for them.
I've had SUVs before. I've had Mercedes GL and things like that, and they're very utility, whereas this is true luxury in an SUV, which, apart from a Range Rover, but even then, it's a step up from anything I've seen. The front at first, if the truth be known, when I've looked at pictures, I wasn't too sure, but now I've seen it in the flesh, it works. Certainly the rear lights with the new design B on them, for people that want to be known that they've got a Bentley, it doesn't get any better. Being a 4-seat or potentially 5-seat or whatever is fine, but it doesn't make it any different. I think the 7-seat, I mean, I know that's why I bought a Mercedes GL originally, because it was the best on the market and it was a 7-seat. And I think that will work very well, because then you capture the families. The safety features are great on this. Obviously this one's spec'd up, but the options you can have on the Bentley are just so many that that's the advantage, isn't it? You can have what you want, and if someone wants a Bentley, they want a Bentley, and they will pay that price.
The Bentley Bentayga is on sale now, priced from £160,000, with first delivery set for early 2016. But we'll be driving it soon, so check back on whatcar.com for the latest car news, reviews and videos.